Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. With my great friends, we reunited. These two sisters helped in our effort locally, along with Susan, who lives in my jurisdiction, so I have the honor of representing her. I don't know where she's probably, oh, there, okay, she's in the corner. And let me also recognize my baby sister, Maya, who has the biggest afro in here, who lives in Atlanta. A couple of reasons. So that I'm a civil rights lawyer as well, and so that obviously it's great that I went right after Wendy, because the legal aspect of it, not having a remedy when you're discriminated against, right? A whole set of people. And in my county, for example, we have 200,000 Black and Latinx women, right? They represent, of our 1.1 million residents, they represent a large population. Many of them have natural hair that they wear. And I include Latinx women because I'm just, our population, we're about 20% Black and 20% Latino. For those who don't know, we're in the 400th year since documented history of enslaved Africans being brought to North America. But prior to that, there were 100 million Africans brought to Central and South America, right? And I think one of the things that we forget, and that Latinos themselves forget, because there's huge colorism, is that, and you compare that, about 12 million to 15 million, depending on the estimate, enslaved Africans came to North America. 100 million came to Central and South America. So if you take a country like Brazil, it has more Black people than are in the United States. Second largest Black population outside of Nigeria, right? So I think we forget that, and there are all these people, to Wendy's point, of this global effort. That's why this is so important. And I think there's work we have to do within the U.S. to bring our Latinx brothers and sisters into this movement. There are many, and there may be some in this room, some Afro-Latinas in this room. But I just wanted to mention that point. But I introduced it, it was really personal as well. I have 3 daughters, and we just had a son, and my youngest daughter and you know how this happens, you have different complexions in your family. So my oldest daughter is more brown, my middle daughter is kind of caramel, my youngest daughter is more fair, more similar to my complexion. And when she came to me and her mother, she was 5 years old, and said, I want my hair to be long and pretty like the girls on TV. And you just unpack that statement of that she, one, doesn't think her hair is pretty, because they all have natural hair. My wife has natural hair, all of them have natural hair, the cute little buns you do on little girls. And so she had somehow, and we don't have a white doll in the house. We're both attorneys. So how did it get to her? And how did she internalize that oppression and that inferiority or less than at 5 years old? And it just shows how much work we still have to do. So there's the legal side of it, but there's also our self-esteem and what it means for us. It's like in 1954, when they did Brown v. Board of Education, one of the justifications that was the ruling that desegregated the schools, right, was they did a doll test. And I've seen some people nodding. They showed Black boys and girls a white doll and a brown doll, and said, which is the bad doll? Everyone pointed to the Black doll. Which is the ugly doll? Everyone pointed to which is the evil doll? Which is the pretty doll? Which is the beautiful doll? And they redid that test in early 2000s, and then they've done it in other places too, and they got almost the exact same results as they did in 1954. And so it just shows how much internal work we have to do. I think this legislation is equally about the internal work we have to do to fight back against the institutionalized oppression that many of us have with race. But you can't attack it if you don't, to Wendy's point, connect hair to race, which has always been connected. We've known that. But for the general population, so I don't want to ramble, but that's why we introduced it in Montgomery County. We're a large county, we're a diverse county, the largest jurisdiction in Maryland. We have 1.1 million people, and I think we have to start this movement municipally too. And actually on Tuesday, we will become the first county in the nation to pass this legislation. So you can clap on that. So, and then in Maryland, we have a legislature. They're going to introduce it in January, so it'll come up in Maryland in the legislature. And I know these ladies are working with that coalition as well. So we just have to keep the movement going for both of those reasons.
Again, to you, Will, what are the legal effects of this bill for the county and the country?
Great, and I'll be short on this one. I felt like the historical perspective is important because I think we often forget this is not a new thing. So our bill will not only ban discrimination or expand the definition of race to include hair, natural hair, and hairstyles, protective hairstyles, locks, twists, braids, and the like. It will also prohibit that in job discrimination, but it will also do public accommodations. So we do have the broader law where, taxi, restaurant, it includes the whole range of where every place else we ban race discrimination, housing, it will be banned for natural hair, which is important, I think. It's not just enough to say employment, even though that's one of the primary. We know that there are people who weren't rented an apartment or given a loan because of the way they looked connected to their hair. So we will expand that. And then our Office of Human Rights, which is like our Office of Civil Rights, if you feel this, if you've been discriminated against, you can file a complaint, they will investigate it. In the case of a business, they will be fined up to $5,000. And that's the way we're approaching it. But I'm also hoping that we can use it as momentum for the statewide effort, for the nationwide effort, for the global effort, to try to push this. Because in some states, it's going to be harder to get a state bill passed. And so, Maryland has 6 million people. I represent 1.1 million of them. That's a significant number. That will help give momentum. So in some of your states, there are jurisdictions where you can pass this or a version of this and then help put pressure on your governors and your state legislators to move it forward. Because it's not going to be, in some states it's going to be harder to do, depending on if you have a Republican governor or not. Right, and pressure on your city council members. That's good. You don't have to convince me. I'm obviously, part of the team, but there are many people, as you all know, that have no clue. I'm on a council, I have a 9-member council. One of my colleagues went to segregated schools, so he's older white man, and then me. So you have wide variation on who, in their understanding, they're not going to understand this because this isn't their legacy, right? One of the privileges of white privilege is that you don't have to experience racism. And so, particularly not related to your hair. And while they may be able to understand the skin color, some better than others, understanding that the history of our hair and what that means. So there's a lot of education that needs to happen, but a lot of pressure that needs to happen too at the municipal level.
So to the